We are not your grandmothers and grandfathers in NAACP, and I know some chapters that's what I think of. We wanted to make this organization that already existed, that had a name, to see if we could make it work more effectively for justice in our community. Good evening, everybody. This is another edition of Race, Religion, and Politics. Race, Religion, and Politics, the most provocative online talk show in Crittenden County. I think it's the only online talk show in Crittenden County. But Race, Religion, and Politics, everything that your mama and your daddy and your boss man told you not to talk about, we are going to talk about that here at the Crittenden County NAACP. We're going to be talking about a lot of things today. We're going to be talking about the protesting that's going on right now. We may touch on the COVID virus a little bit later. Crittenden County NAACP Vice President Ruby Johnson is going to be talking about your responsibility to get out to vote as one strategy for empowerment. And she's also going to be talking about the 2020 census. That'll be a little bit later, but she's off to the side, as are some of our other members, because we're practicing physical distancing. You know, everybody calls it social distancing. We call it physical distancing here at the Crittenden County NAACP. Remember that our hours are from 11 to 4, Tuesday through Friday. That our phone number, our office phone number is 901-378-6743. We would love to have your membership. Become part of the solution and not part of the problems. Our membership is $30 per year. Our address is P.O. Box 1101, West Memphis, Arkansas, 72303. And our email is Crittenden County NAACP at hotmail.com. At gmail.com. I forget it myself sometimes. Every institution in the United States of America is inherently racist because the system is inherently racist. Racist means that there's a system of white dominance, particularly white male dominance, that has been a part of the creation of the United States since its founding, even before its founding. We have to remember that this nation was founded, all of Western Europe was power is based upon the exploitation and enslavement of African peoples and the murder and genocide of native people. And so everything proceeding from that is inherently racist. The whole conversation about racism is a continuing conversation about the transatlantic slave trade that we've never fixed. We've had the so-called Revolutionary War, we've had the Civil War, we've had all kind of conflicts, but they all are derived from the Atlantic slave trade and the system of white supremacy that was created to justify and to maintain it. And that system is still very much in place. Talking about the police, let me give you some statistics. I love to give statistics. Between 1861 and 1961, 4 to 5 black people per week were lynched in America. 4 to 5 black people per week were lynched in America. Over 90% of those lynchings were carried out by law enforcement or covered up by them. Nothing's changed. Now, the fact that people get mad because you say that, they're not getting mad at you because you lied. They're getting mad at you because they told the truth that they don't want exposed. Because somehow or another, when the truth is exposed, then we all are forced to be accountable to that truth. But had we not had slavery, we wouldn't be having these conversations today. Police don't do anything that the political system that writes their check doesn't allow. In 1966, the Black Panther for Self-Defense was formed in Oakland, California by Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale. You know what they were started an organization over? Police misconduct. Dr. King, if you watched their protests from Montgomery to the campaign in 1963 at Birmingham, they constantly were dealing with the police because the police or law enforcement was sent out to protect white power and to inflict pain and terror on blacks who did not want to accept white supremacy as a normal social arrangement. Throughout history, black people that challenged white supremacy have been lynched, murdered, lost their jobs, beaten, had their careers ruined, had their personal lives under assault. I've experienced that myself personally on any number of occasions. I think about 10 years ago when we began to aggressively challenge white supremacy and expose it through our writings and through our speech, we noticed that we have a lot of blacks that practice it with them. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the late Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who was the first president of Ghana, West Africa, he had this to say, because the science of politics bears out everything that I'm saying. I'm not speaking from emotion, but we speak from history and the science and understanding the science of politics, cause and effect. He said that when colonized people fail to overthrow their colonizer, the natural political consequence will be the rise of a reactionary class of blacks, who he called the petty bourgeoisie, that are joined with that white establishment for their own personal benefit. And we see that that's entrenched in black leadership today from, to be honest with you, the organization that I'm a part of. And I'm worried and concerned that we have a lot of young blacks and whites with a lot of energy, a lot of righteous energy, but when they see people hugging them and kneeling with them, they may think that that they share their sentiments, but oftentimes they don't. What they're doing is they're trying to defeat you by joining with you and co-opting what you're doing. Some of the same police that kneeled, a few minutes later, they were spraying them with mace and tear gas. In fact, they asked one police captain up in New York, "Why did you kneel?" He said, "Well, it was 50 of us and thousands of them, so it seemed the best strategy." So I wouldn't get too carried away by what political pundits and political party leaders say. You hear a lot of stuff about, well, everybody get out to vote this fall, and that is one thing, but be very careful. You'll see a lot of people saying what they think you want to hear. We are not your grandmothers and grandfathers in NAACP, and I know some chapters that's what I think of. We wanted to make this organization that already existed, that had a name, to see if we could make it work more effectively for justice in our community.